Welcome to Sabukatori Unveiling TV. Today we journey back in time to an era of grandeur and mystery, the era of King Tutankhamun. The story of this legendary pharaoh begins over 3,000 years ago, in the heart of ancient Egypt, a land of pyramids and golden sands. A child was born, a child destined to wear the double crown of the Upper and Lower Egypt. His birth was not an ordinary one. Tutankhamun, or Tutankhaten as he was originally named, was the son of Akhenaten, a controversial pharaoh who shifted Egypt's traditional polytheistic beliefs to monotheism. His mother remains a mystery, a shadowy figure lost to the sands of time. The context of his birth was a time of religious upheaval and political tension. His lineage, a dynasty entwined with power, faith and intrigue, marked him for a life less ordinary. Born into a dynasty of power and intrigue, King Tutankhamun's life was destined to be anything but ordinary. As a boy, Tutankhamun was thrust into a role that would shape the course of Egyptian history. Picture this, a 9-year-old kid suddenly being handed the reins of one of the most powerful kingdoms of the ancient world. That's right, folks. Our young Tutankhamun was barely out of his first decade of life when he was crowned pharaoh, king of all Egypt. Just let that sink in for a moment. Now, being king isn't all about flaunting fancy headgear and lounging around on a golden throne. No siree, it's a job that comes with its fair share of responsibilities, and for Tutankhamun, these responsibilities came knocking at his door sooner than one could say, pyramids. As pharaoh, King Tut was the religious, political and military head of Egypt. He was responsible for maintaining harmony and order, keeping the gods happy, and ensuring that the Nile, their life-giving river, kept flowing. And all this while he was probably still struggling with his math homework, but here's the kicker. Tutankhamun's reign came at a time when Egypt was in turmoil. His father, Akhenaten, had tossed out their traditional gods and introduced a new monotheistic religion. So, young Tutankhamun had the daunting task of restoring the old gods and healing a divided kingdom. Now, you might be thinking, how did a kid handle all this? Well, he had help. His advisors, particularly Ai and Horemheb, guided him through the intricacies of ruling a kingdom. But don't let that fool you. Tutankhamun was no puppet king. He made decisions that showed remarkable wisdom and resolve. He understood the importance of diplomacy, as seen in his correspondence with other kingdoms. He initiated building projects and reforms that brought about stability and prosperity. And so, despite the challenges, despite his tender age, King Tutankhamun rose to the occasion. He led his people with a steady hand and a wise heart, navigating through stormy waters with the grace of a seasoned sailor. Despite his youth, King Tutankhamun displayed a wisdom and resolve beyond his years. Now let's delve into the reign of King Tut. It was a time of change and restoration for Egypt. As a young pharaoh, King Tutankhamun ascended the throne in a period of political and religious turmoil. His father, Akhenaten, had controversially shifted Egypt's centuries-old polytheistic religious practices to monotheism, worshipping only the sun disk, Aten. This sudden change left the kingdom in disarray, and it was upon King Tut's young shoulders to restore the balance. King Tut, in his youthful wisdom, made the audacious decision to revert Egypt back to its traditional polytheistic beliefs. He moved the capital back to Thebes, the city of the god Amun, and reinstated the old pantheon of gods, thereby restoring the old religious practices that had been cast aside by his father. His rule marked a return to orthodoxy, a revival of the old ways, and it was received with open arms by his people. But King Tut's reign wasn't just about religious restoration, he was also known for his architectural contributions. During his rule he commissioned the construction of various monuments. These included statues, stelae, and buildings, many of which were dedicated to the gods. His most notable project was the restoration of the temples damaged during his father's reign, especially the Great Temple of Amun at Karnak. Despite being in power for a mere decade, King Tut's reign was a time of healing for Egypt. He reversed the radical reforms of his father, restored traditional religious practices, and left a legacy of architectural marvels for future generations to behold. His reign, though brief, was potent and impactful. Yet it is not just his accomplishments that define King Tut. His enigmatic death and the alleged curse of his tomb have fueled speculations and mysteries that continue to fascinate us even today. But we'll save those intriguing tales for the next few scenes. King Tutankhamun's reign, though brief, left an indelible mark on Egypt's history. The sun set prematurely on King Tut's reign when he met with an untimely death. And what an enigma it has been. As if scripted by a mystery novelist, the circumstances surrounding the death of this young pharaoh have captivated us for nearly a century since his tomb was discovered. Historians and scientists alike have proposed an array of theories, each more intriguing than the last. Some suggest that he died of a disease, a notion supported by the traces of malaria parasites found in his mummy. Others posit that he suffered a fatal injury, perhaps from a chariot accident, as an examination of his remains revealed a broken leg. Then there's the theory that King Tut was murdered. This idea stems from a hole in the back of his skull, which was initially thought to be the result of a deadly blow. However, later studies indicated that this hole was likely made during the mummification process, casting doubts on the murder theory. Yet despite these numerous theories and extensive examinations of King Tut's mummy, his cause of death remains nebulous. Even with the advancements in technology and scientific methods, we are still left with more questions than answers. For instance, why does his mummy appear to have been burnt? An analysis of the embalming materials used suggested they may have combusted after the burial, causing the mummy to heat up. But was this a mishap, or was it intentional? And what about the strange feminine characteristics observed in King Tut's mummy? Could he have suffered from a genetic disorder that caused his unusual appearance? Or do these traits hold some other significance? Each theory weaves an intriguing tale, yet none provide a definitive answer. It's as though King Tut, even in death, refuses to relinquish his secrets, keeping us in a perpetual state of curiosity. King Tutankhamun's death remains shrouded in mystery, adding to his enduring legend. The sun may have set on his reign, but the fascination with his life, and more so, his death, continues to illuminate our quest for understanding. The discovery of King Tut's tomb in 1922 by Howard Carter was a major archaeological milestone. But it came with a chilling narrative. Here's where things take a dark turn. As the story goes, anyone who dared to break the peace of King Tut's final resting place would be struck down by a curse. A pretty ominous warning, wouldn't you say? Yet the lure of ancient treasures and the thrill of discovery proved too tempting to resist. Howard Carter and his team ventured forth, unsealing the tomb that had been untouched for over 3,000 years. From the moment the tomb was opened, strange and unexplained events began to occur. Lord Carnarvon, the financial backer of the expedition, died a few months after the tomb's opening from a mosquito bite gone septic. Newspapers of the time were quick to link his death to the alleged curse. Over the years, other members of the excavation team also met with untimely ends. Some died of mysterious illnesses, others in strange accidents. The death toll associated with Tut's curse was reported to be as high as 22. But here's the twist. Howard Carter, the man who first entered the tomb and disturbed King Tut's eternal slumber, lived for another 16 years. He died of natural causes at the age of 64. So was the curse selective or just a figment of our collective imaginations? The fascination and fear surrounding the curse have only added to King Tut's mystique. Despite numerous studies debunking the existence of the curse, the legend persists, fueled by our love for a good mystery. The tale of King Tut's curse serves as a potent reminder of our fascination with the unknown. It's a story that has endured, evolving with each retelling, a testament to our enduring curiosity and our insatiable desire to explore the mysteries of the past. Whether fact or fiction, the curse of King Tut's tomb continues to captivate us, adding a layer of intrigue to an already fascinating tale. The story of King Tutankhamun is a tale that transcends time. Born a prince, he ascended the throne at a tender age, leading his people through a period of change and upheaval. Yet, his reign was cut short, and his death remains shrouded in mystery. The discovery of his tomb centuries later was a monumental event, but it too was not without its enigmatic circumstances. The so-called curse that befell those involved in the excavation has sparked intrigue and speculation ever since. Even today, the story of King Tut continues to captivate scholars, historians, and mystery seekers alike. His life, his reign, his death, and the supposed curse of his tomb, all these elements contribute to an ongoing narrative that is as engrossing as it is elusive. As we continue to delve into the past, King Tutankhamun's story serves as a reminder of the endless allure of history's mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for more exciting unveilings from the annals of history.